Coach, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
It has been. Seems like it's been forever, but we're excited to be back on.
Yeah, this is long overdue. Obviously, we haven't spoken since before the WAC tournament, which seems like ages ago. So as the world knows, that was the first kind of domino for the sports world to kind of shut down, was you guys at those conference tournaments that weekend, and then obviously the NBA suspension. So what was that like to not be able to have that statement in the WAC and have to leave in such an odd way?
You get about halfway back to Bakersfield and you decide to think like, did that just happen? You know, did we just come back and we didn't play? And then are we done in the WAC? Did it end that way? So it was just one of those things that even today, as we're talking about it, I go back to try to, that's how I was feeling that day. And it was just, you know, you kind of like in this world or in this dream and you keep saying, okay, I'm going to wake up and we're going to get ready and play. Like that's something that seemed like it would have happened the night before the game. And then you wake up and you go, okay, man, let's get going. And we never got going again. So, you know, it wasn't the right way I wanted to say goodbye to the WAC and, you know, the people that have been so good to us and the conference that has been good to us. But, you know, you just have to move on, and that's what we're doing.
You can go down the list of how much uncertainty there's been about all of this, and even right now talking about what the future is of your next season. So what's been the hardest for you as a coach during all of this time?
Not being with the players. That's been the thing. I mean, I was discussing this with my wife. I don't know how once our players get back, it's going to be difficult for me to do social distancing. A lot of us as coaches, a lot of our energy is driven, and we're, you know, we get our energy sourced from our players and the way that they are and trying to boost them up or them boosting us up. And to not have that, it's been a difficult part.
So we talked about this, you know, the perspective that all of this has brought to people. What do you think is the ultimate silver lining during this time that has been obviously a rather negative time for many?
Oh, man. I guess it's so many. And it's the one thing that it's probably, I would have 4 or 5 things, you know, that's just the importance of valuing life, you know, and just the small things. You know, because there's so many things we take for granted. This is really a soul-searching experience that I think we're going through, and is really testing where our morals and values are today.